Hey guys, Dan the RBRT Guy back with you again today. Hey, first thing I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in every week with me and checking out my videos on the Dan the RBRT Guy channel. You know, I really appreciate each and every time you guys tune in and the comments that you leave. And I've noticed that in the comment section I'm seeing comments like, well, you know, I grabbed my other tool and I started to round out that hex, and then I grabbed RBRT and RBRT saved the day. So what I've decided to do in these series of videos and the next few videos coming up is we're going to talk about why you do not need to grab any other tool, just RBRT. That needs to be your primary source. You know, when we started RBRT, when we first launched it, it kind of got launched around the idea that it's there to save the day, that when you get into a problem, you grab your RBRT. You know, I'm here to try to bring the message out to the world that you start with RBRT, you are far less likely to get into a problem to begin with. Because I'll tell you what, guys, you know, if you don't strip it first, but you start with my tool first, and it's got more surface contact to grab, you're not going to get into a problem to begin with. And what we've got going on here today is I've got a little demo block over here in the corner, and I've got some stainless steel bolts, some nice soft stainless steel bolts. I've got a grade 8, a nice hard one there, and we're going to torque them down to over torque levels, even tighter than what they're supposed to be. And I'm going to show you the bolts to show you that RBRT will tighten down a bolt the same as a regular hex head will, and it will loosen off a bolt, a good one, the same as a regular hex head will. No damage will be incurred into the bolts. But then, you know, when it comes to removing, the way that engages, it just makes the whole process so much easier, and it stops damage from occurring in its tracks. So let's get on over to the demo block and see what we can do. Okay guys, back over here at the trusty bench vise, and what I've got going on is I've got a demo block. Let me try to lay this out for you. We've got some good stainless steel hex head bolts. I've got a 6mm stainless, I've got a 8mm stainless, and I've got a 3/8 stainless. And I've also got a 6mm grade 8 that we'll use later on in the demo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my torque wrench and I'm going to torque these bolts down to about 10 foot-pounds higher, to simulate a real kind of world situation, higher than what the bolt manufacturer recommended for that bolt. So the 6mm bolt is about 30 foot-pounds, so I'm going to torque it down to 40. The 8mm bolt is about 50 foot-pounds, so I'm going to torque it down to 60 foot-pounds. And then the bigger 3/8 one is 70 foot-pounds, and I'm going to torque it down to 80 foot-pounds. And then what I'm going to show you is that no damage will incur, even on the softer stainless steel bolts, from our hex head design. So they can be used in place of what you're using now. I'll be right back with that torque wrench. Okay guys, so the torque wrench reads 40 foot-pounds. We're going to go ahead and put it into the stainless steel one first here, and let's tighten her down. "40 foot-pounds, there we go. And we'll grab the 8mm one and pop that up to 60. There we go. And here we go. $60, all right. And 80 foot-pounds. And we'll put the big one in there. This one will take a little bit more shoulder work to get. There we go, 80 foot-pounds. All right. So we've got all our bolts torqued down. Now I'm just going to use a regular ratchet to crack these loose. And what I'd like to do, if I could, is just show you that there's no damage whatsoever in these stainless steel bolts. No creases, no nothing. It's just like a normal regular hex in the tightening position. So we'll go ahead and put that 6mm in there and we'll crack it loose. And out she comes, right? That bigger 3/8 will take a little bit more. Out she comes, okay. There we go. So as you can see in those 6mm and the stainless steel bolts, that there was no damage incurred whatsoever from tightening these down and then loosening them back off which just goes to prove my point that the RBRT Hex is the only hex head that you need to have in your toolbox. It really is the best of both worlds. It works perfectly in good bolts, just like it should, but when you come across one that's been damaged, compromised, you know, when I say compromised, compromise can mean many, many things. Compromise can be rusty, stripped, corroded, whatever the situation may be. If that hex is not in good shape, you just put our RBRT in there, maybe give it a little tap with a hammer, bottom it into the fastener, and you know, it's the best fighting chance of getting it out. So that's our RBRT in action. You know, they really truly are the newest, latest, greatest innovation in bit socket technology to come along in many, 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 many years, and truly the only set that you need. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go through some of the sets that we have. I'm going to show you how they come, how they're packaged, and then we'll put the part numbers on the screen, and I'll be right back with that. So what we've got here, guys, is we've got our 5 most popular sets. Now, we've got 9 sets of different hex, different lengths, impact versions, and I'm going to be coming back into another video, the next one that I shoot, and I'm going to do the other half. Since we had so many, I decided to split it up. But I wanted to show you our 5 most popular sets, and we'll start with this metric one. This is the SXMHS 7 RBRT metric 7-piece short set on a really nice little rail. Love the way they have the positive lock. So that's one of our most popular sets. And then of course we've got the SXHS 7 RBRT. That's the standard or SAE set. Those 2 sets sell fantastically. They are good for just about everything you can think of. Then we've got the slightly longer 70 millimeter length, okay, that's the metric one. And always remember, when it comes to RBRT, black rail means metric, red rail means SAE. So that is the SXMH7 RBRT. The only difference in the part numbers are the S for the short to the longer ones. And then we've got the SXH7 RBRT for the SAE ones. And then we have our most popular set, and what that is that's the SXH14 RBRT that actually gives you these 2 sets in one foam tray. So it's these 2 sets incorporated into one. It's got the foam tray. That one of the neat little features of this foam tray is that it'll actually come out and you can put that to the side and set the foam tray into your toolbox or your tool cart, save a little space. Being an ex-Mac guy, I know how valuable real estate is in a toolbox. But I love this set because, you know, a lot of guys when I go out on the road and I do demos for RBRT, they say, Dan, you know, I don't use a lot of SAE sizes. I'm mostly a metric guy. I work in an import shop. You know, and that's absolutely true. When we're dealing with good bolts at the bench vise, those are metric. The 3/8 was a 3/8. So the metric and the standard sizings work just like normal hexes in the good bolts, but when you need to take out something that's rounded, really rounded, when it's been stripped out so bad, a lot of times metric and standard is no longer the issue. It's what size fits best that you might tap into to try to get the best grip that you can, and incremental sizes can really matter when you're trying to take out damaged bolts. So I absolutely suggest that you have both the standard and the metric. If you know, the SAE certainly may not get used very often, but when you need that incremental size to take out the rounded ones, sure can be helpful. So that's our lineup of today. Next video I'll come back and I'll show you the other 4 sets of the hex that we've got. I've got a really neat little demo that I'll show you in the bench vise, and we'll see you then. Once again, thanks so much guys for coming back week after week with me. You know, be sure to like my video. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, and hit that notification bell so you can tell when the next video comes at you. And do me a favor, you know, I know from being a Mac guy that you guys all know each other. Share this information out to your friends, to your coworkers. Let them know just how amazing this new technology is and what a game changer it can be in the shop for you on an everyday basis. Every time you come across a hex head, you grab your RBRT first. I'm Dan, the RBRT guy. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.